sports betting podcast. My name is Q. You can follow me on all socials at Bets by Q. And of course, this podcast is brought to you by Black Sheep Betting, where it is a dog's world. Was a crazy weekend. Not much to recap from last week as we missed a couple of episodes due to some technical difficulties. However, do have a few plays tonight. But before we get into that, let's talk about Sinner. He wins the Indian Wells final against Medvedev. 7-6, 7-6, absolutely crazy. So if you've been in the tennis chat over the weekend, you know that we've been rocking and rolling in there. So the link to the free Discord chat is in the description. We'd love to have you in there. We talk sports 24/7, 365. Every hour of every single day, there's action on the board. I also have a few VIP packages. We just dropped the college basketball package. The big dance begins, man. Miami's in. All right. We do have some futures. I want to get those going as well. But the best place, obviously, to get those will be the VIP. But I will be dropping 2 or 3 futures tomorrow on the show as well. But let's get into tonight's plays. I have 2 really good value plays for you today. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Kings against the New York Rangers right here in New York at Madison Square Garden. Kings are currently a few points out of the wild card spot. So they still have something to play for down the stretch. The Rangers, entirely different story. They are sitting at the bottom of the standings. Clearly in rebuild mode. The owners already sent out some emails to the season ticket holders saying, hey, don't expect any big moves. We're going to completely be sellers at the deadline, and that's what they were. In fact, they sent Artemi Panarin to the Kings, who will be making his return to New York today. But when you look at New York, you look at their home results, hasn't been pretty. New York's 9-15-6 at Madison Square Garden this season. But to be fair, in this matchup, if you're wondering why the line is so low, Rangers aren't completely rolling over right now. They actually come into this game on a 4-game winning streak. So there's at least a little bit of confidence in the locker room. But when I look at the matchup, I still think the edge belongs to Los Angeles. Undoubtedly, really, the Kings have been one of the, quietly been one of the best road teams in the NHL this year, right? 17-9-8 record away from home, and their identity and their, play style travels really well, okay? They play physical, structured hockey. They slow the game down with that physicality, and defensively, they're one of the tougher teams to break through. I always kind of compare them to like an octopus where they slowly just get to everything. It's like they have 8 arms out there, and the game just really, really slows down. And that's been their, identity for the last 4 or 5 years. Okay. So this isn't just something new. It hasn't, been fully beneficial when you get into the playoffs, but, they've been bounced out by the Oilers the last 3 or 4 years. So, doesn't look like, at least the Kings have to think about securing a wild card spot before they can think about what happens in round 1. But I think that the big storyline here tonight is going to be Artemi Panarin returning to New York. I think that always adds a little bit of emotion into the game. I think all the time that the bread man has spent in New York, his Kings teammates are going to want to, 1, feed him, right, and 2, win this game for the veteran against his former team, a team that many might say, hey, they gave up on him, all right? I think it's going to be really, really hard for New York to stop the Kings when they get going offensively. The Kings are 21-4-7 when they score 3 or more goals. I think that is the key number, obviously, today, which tells you, like, when the Kings, when their offense gets to that number, they usually finish the job. I think they get to that number, okay? On the other side, the biggest matchup for the Kings are going to be how they perform on the penalty kill because New York is 14-7-2 when they convert on the power play. So special teams is obviously going to play a role here. But overall, I do expect this to be a tight, lower tempo game. I think that favors Los Angeles. Their defensive structure, their physical style can really grind these teams down over 60 minutes. And ultimately, I just don't see the Rangers consistently stopping the Kings offense from getting to that 3-goal threshold. If that happens, the numbers say the Kings usually win. I'm going to go ahead and back that. I'm willing to play the 60-minute money line at plus 130 to get the Kings to win this game in regulation. Lock it in for 1 unit. I will see you at the counter when it cashes. Now, over to the World Baseball Classic. Transparent, I'm going to take a shot on the Italy national baseball team at plus 155 against Venezuela. I think Venezuela's a great story. They dismantled Japan. They got to Yamamoto early in the quarters. But, I mean, a lot of people are going to be looking at Venezuela's lineup. They're going to see the stars, Acuna, Reyes, Churio, Perez. I assume that they have the public is going to believe that this team has the overwhelming offensive edge. I don't think that's the case. I think maybe if you were to play this matchup, 100 times, Venezuela probably wins 98 times. But the reality here is, Italy's been one of the most explosive offenses in the tournament so far. We know that Venezuela has a star-studded lineup from top to bottom, a great bullpen. But, I mean, you got, it feels like the Italians are finding ways to win, even without the long ball. I mean, I think that, the Vinny Pasquantino anchor in the middle of the order, Caglione brings some left-handed pop to the rotation, and then you just got the guys like John Birdie and Don Cordy, and they help keep innings alive, and they apply pressure on pitchers. I mean, Italy has shown all tournament that they can score in bunches, right? If they continue that offensive pattern tonight, they absolutely have the ability to trade runs rather than just trying to survive against Venezuela's lineup. All right. So when I look at this matchup, I think the market might be underrating just how dangerous Italy's offense has been during the World Baseball Classic. If they keep swinging at bats like how they're swinging them, I mean, this game is going to turn into a much tighter contest than people expect. I'm going to grab the value here. I like Italy on the money line. I think this is going to be a just back and forth offensive showdown. I think it's going to be really good for the sport of baseball. And it also is, I think it'll illustrate the fact that the biggest names don't always win the biggest games. A lot of times they do, but not always. And I think that we're going to get that tonight. So we're going to take Italy on the money line. I'm going to go grab some espresso, and hopefully we'll be eating spaghetti tonight. I'll be back here tomorrow with more plus money plays from around the sports world. As always, my name is Q from Black Sheep Betting, and I hope each and every one of you hit each and every one of your bets. Peace.